All right, ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to do an NFL video. I like to do an NFL video here. I'm a big fan of the NFL, as you guys know, so I like to do an NFL video once in a while. I haven't done one. I don't know. I do them a lot, but I have not done it in a while. And I'm trying to make a video every day. So I was thinking, what should I do? And I was, obviously, the NBA, we've got that covered with the finals. And I mean, baseball, I just did the baseball video, I think, on Monday. So I'm like, let's do NFL here tonight. Okay, so you guys already know these shit. NFL. We're just gonna go through the news around the league, what's been going on the last few days. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. All right, where should we start off? Um, let's see, where should we start off? Um, Washington and Kirk Cousins are talking about possibly re-signing Kirk Cousins for a longer contract. There's been talks about Kirk Cousins wanting to leave and go, and he wants to go to San Francisco with the new coach Kyle Shanahan, who used to be the offensive coordinator in Washington about 2 3 years ago. And there's been talk about both Kirk Cousins and Kyle Shanahan wanting to be together again in San Francisco now that Shanahan is the new coach of San Francisco. Kirk Cousins says he wants to leave because he says he feels a little bit disrespected. One, he obviously the team's not as good anymore. They're losing a lot of the receivers. Pierre Garcon left. Um, Deshaun Jackson left, so and then they won't give him a long term deal for the last 2 years. They've been discussing a long term deal for Kirk Cousins. They just cannot get to it, and they continue to just franchise tag him for the last 2 years, and he is a little bit frustrated with that. So there's been talks that he may just leave and just go to San Francisco and be with Kyle Shanahan again. But they are saying that this week that they are starting to talk about possibly once again re-signing him for a longer contract for more years, so for him to stay in Washington. So it's interesting to see what happens there. Many people believe he's not the guy. Many people believe that they should just let him go. Even he said a little bit that he's tired and he'd rather go to San Francisco. But we'll see what happens there. There's been a lot of talk about him going to San Francisco, about him leaving. But this week there were some people that were saying that they may actually get this new contract on and he may just stay in Washington. But we will see what happens with Kirk Cousins. What else are we going to talk here around the league? Um, let's see here. Jeremy Maclin. I don't know if I mentioned this last time. He has been released by the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's in talks with both Buffalo and Baltimore. Those are the only teams he has talked to. As of right now, those are the only two teams that have shown that much that they want to sign him interest. Those are really the only two teams that have shown interest in him so far, Buffalo and Baltimore. He has talked to both teams, and now apparently he's just thinking about what his future is, where he wants to go. But it looks like it's only those teams right now. Um, he's only had he's been in Kansas City for the last 2 years, only 10 touchdowns. But at the same time, we got to look at who that quarterback is, Alex Smith. He has a very weak arm compared to some other quarterbacks around the league. So you put Jeremy Maclin with somebody else, if he goes to Baltimore with Joe Flacco, I think his numbers will be a lot better because Joe Flacco has a much better arm than Alex Smith. So I think that has to do a little bit with I've been studying, and I think a lot of his numbers going down the last 2 years is because of Alex Smith and his weak arm. Alex Smith has a very weak arm compared to some other quarterbacks. So I think if it's between those two teams, I would say he goes to Baltimore just because Joe Flacco, a former Super Bowl winning quarterback, and also has a lot better arm than Alex Smith. So I can actually see that happening. If it's between those two teams, I think he'll end up going to Baltimore. And once again, maybe his numbers going back up when he was in Philadelphia with Donovan McNabb and then Michael Vick. Because now he would once again have a quarterback that can throw the deep ball like Joe Flacco. So I think he will really consider Baltimore. and I think he will end up in Baltimore. Plus, Buffalo's has some quarterback questions if they're going to stick with Tyron Taylor or they're going to go in a different direction. So I think the safest thing would be as far as chemistry and as far as his numbers going back up to what they used to be in Philadelphia, it's going to Baltimore and going with Joe Flacco over there. But he's still thinking about his future. But so far, those are the only two teams that have shown interest, and Jeremy Maclin. Yeah, I think I talked about this last week a little bit, but I don't think I talked about those two teams being interested in him. But yeah, we'll see what happens. What else are we going to talk about here on the C Show? The New England Patriots got their Super Bowl rings last night. Robert Kraft made a dinner, and they all got invited. And their Super Bowl their Super Bowl rings. I apologize. Their Super Bowl rings yesterday were handed out to all 53 members of that team. Obviously, the coaches and everybody. They're interesting that there's exactly 283 diamonds on the ring. There's 283 diamonds. If you remember, that was the lead in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, when it was 28-3. So many people believe that is why there are exactly 383 diamonds on that ring, because just to remember that they were done at one point. That was the score, 28-3. Obviously, you put it together, 283. But I mean, it's many people believe it's because of that, because of the 28-3 score and a late third quarter. So yeah, they got their Super Bowl rings. Yesterday, Robert Kraft had a dinner at his house, and they gave him their Super Bowl rings. Congratulations to them. They also signed that Julian Edelman to a longer contract. So I believe it's like a 2-year deal, 3-year deal. He will be staying in New England for the next 2 years. Well, Julian Edelman. What else are we going to talk about here on the C Show? Eric Decker has been released, or will be released, or they're trying to release him. The New York Jets are trying to release Eric Decker. They're trying to see if they can trade him, but he has had some injury problems the last few years, so they are not sure. If they can get a trade for him, they will release him. But it's pretty much likely that Eric Decker will not be a New York Jet by the start of next season. He's either going to get traded or released. They may have a hard time finding a trading team, but if not, they're just going to release Eric Decker. So Eric Decker, obviously his bigger years with Denver with Peyton Manning, but they are saying that he may end up getting released. New York Jets are really cleaning house. They let it go earlier. Brandon Marshall, he's now with the New York Giants. They also let Harris, the linebacker, go. They're letting go. They're letting go a lot of people. Yeah, so that's their next guy. Either they're going to trade him or release Eric Decker here in the next few days. What else am I going to talk about here on the C Show tonight? Odell Beckham wants a new contract. If you guys remembered a few weeks ago, Odell Beckham got the biggest Nike contract for an NFL player in history. Nike has never paid an NFL player that much money to go to promote Nike. So he got the most money from an NFL player from Nike. Nike had never paid an NFL player that much money like they did to Odell Beckham. But now this week he has come out and say Odell Beckham is not showing off to the offseason team activities because he wants a lot more money from the Giants. So he got that new contract from Nike. Now he wants a new contract from the New York Giants. There's actually talk that the Nike contract right now is giving him more money than the NFL contract. So I guess he wants to even it out or even make the NFL contract more money. So the guy's just crazy for money. And now, like I said, he has the biggest NFL contract with Nike in NFL history and Nike history. And now he's talking about getting more money from the New York Giants. And like I said, he's not going to the offseason team activities right now because he is throwing a tantrum because he's being a baby and he wants more money. So there's that. What else can I say here tonight on the C Show? Let me hear what else. Let me see what else can I say here tonight on the C Show. I know I'm just thinking off the top of my head. This is one of those times where I just turn on the camera and just think as I shoot the shit. So I know the beard is kind of slow, and I'm kind of just thinking and maybe stopping at times and just thinking to myself. But I apologize. Sometimes I just come out on here and literally, like right before I turn the camera on, or right as I turn the camera on, I start thinking of shit. What the hell I'm gonna say? What I'm gonna say tonight on the C Show? What I'm gonna talk about here tonight on the C Show? Today was kind of those days. I really didn't. About 2 minutes before I turned on the camera, I came up with the NFL news idea. So I apologize if I'm slowing down and stopping at times and just thinking to myself. What else am I? Excuse me. What else am I gonna talk about here tonight on the NFL video? Um. Oh, last one before I take this shit. Last one before I take us home, ladies and gentlemen. Um. Des Bryant wants Darrelle Revis to go to Dallas. He has tweeted him. He said, "You're gonna love it here. What we got going on here," and he is trying to get Des Bryant is trying to get Darrelle Revis to go to Dallas. Nobody has really signed Darrelle Revis. Nobody's showing a lot of interest. Remember, he had a few months ago. He had that problem where he got in that fight where he got knocked somebody out. He had to go to jail for a few days. Charges were dropped. I guess I'm not sure exactly what they negotiated. I forgot what happened, but I guess they negotiated and charges were dropped. And then after that, a few days like I said, the Jets have been cleaning houses off season. He was also one of the players that let go. They released him, and ever since then, nobody has really shown interest in Darrelle Revis. Many people think he's done playing football because he just can't keep up anymore. There's been talk about something. If he's gonna play again, he's gonna have to be at safety because he just can't keep up. He just can no longer be a cornerback and keep up with these wide receivers. So maybe go to free safety. But Dallas, at least Des Bryant wants him to go to Dallas. This is literally just Des Bryant on Twitter asking him to come to Dallas. It has not been talked about by Jerry Jones or Stephen Jones or anybody or Jason Garrett, anybody in the Dallas front office. So this just came out a little bit ago, actually, that Des Bryant is trying to get Darrelle Revis to come to Dallas on his Twitter. We'll see what happens there. At this point, I think Darrelle Revis will listen. Nobody has really shown a lot of interest in Darrelle Revis this off season. So I think Darrelle Revis will say, you know what, at least let me listen to what they have to say. Because I think he still wants to play football. Although he did win a Super Bowl ring a few years ago with New England, so he may just retire. A lot of times these guys just keep going because they don't have that Super Bowl ring. Darrelle Revis has his money. He has his Super Bowl ring. He may just say, screw this. Let's just retire and enjoy life. So that's obviously, maybe that's why it's been so quiet for him because maybe some teams are interested in him, but he's not interested because at this point in his career, he probably wants to go to a winning team. He probably doesn't want to go to like a losing team. So Dallas will probably be a winning team, but there is a lot of problems with that defense. And at this point of Darrelle Revis' career, he is not the answer, or at least the complete answer for that defense. That defense just got worse this offseason. It was already bad last year, but with the losses they got this offseason, especially the secondary, defense just got worse. And it's going to be interesting to see how Dallas does this year because, like I said last year, I thought a lot of times the offense here the defense, and the defense is even looking worse right now than it did last year. They lost a lot of players this offseason. And they have failed really to add some. Other than the draft, obviously, they really failed on free agency to add some players. Darrelle Revis would be a nice piece if he can still play, but obviously he's not the answer because it is not the Darrelle Revis of 5 years ago. It is a much slower Darrelle Revis. And like I said, possibly may have to go to free safety because he just cannot play corner anymore because he just cannot keep up with the wide receivers. So we will see what happens with Darrelle Revis if he listens to Des Bryant. If it gets a little bit more serious with the owner and everybody starts talking about it, we'll see. That's all I have to say here tonight on the C Show. Let's go with the NBA. Still have at least one more game on Monday. We'll see what happens. And once that series is over, I will continue to come in here and just fucking put videos out of my pocket because there's not a lot of stuff to talk right now. Sometime here in the next few months, I will start the NFL predictions. If you were here last year, I go team by team. You usually start a month or a month before the season starts. So that's still not for a while, but that's when I really go in football. So I have about 2 months really to just shoot the shit about anything until I really start going into football. here in the next late in the summer and just start previewing the teams and then get ready for the season. And obviously, if anything comes up, whether free agency next month with the NBA or baseball, which I will be doing a lot of baseball videos because we're in the baseball season. But I mean, yeah, for the next 2 months, it'll be just me pulling out videos out of my pocket and just making them up. And then like I said, about I want to say 2 months, if not even less, I will start daily or almost every day making an NFL preview. I will start with one team, then I will get through all 32 teams. I did it last year, and I will do it again this year. If there's something big going on, I will stop it and I will talk about it. If maybe like in basketball, there's a big, it's going to be the off season, so maybe there's a big trade in basketball or a big signing. I will. But other than that, if there's nothing else going on, like today, I would just continue doing it, and I will try to get through all 32 teams. So if you were not here for that, enjoy that this year. If you were here, you already know that I would be doing that every for the next, like I said, not yet, but like late in the summer, I will start that. But what else can I say? I'm just talking right now. I'm just fucking. But let me just shut up. The video's over, ladies and gentlemen. What else can I say? But thank you. And tomorrow, also, if I make a video, if not, definitely Monday, I will be here for the post-game show of game number 5 in the NBA Finals. Other than that, it's been the man that runs the place. It has been CE, and I will catch your ass down the road. Thank you. Okay, now it's time to